Hey everybody, Brad from Board Game Geek here. We're taking a look at the Lord of the Rings living card game. This is a game I've known about for quite a while and been really excited for. So let's see if at all possible, this digital version of the Lord of the Rings LCG lives up to my extremely high expectations. First things, it's important to note that this is not a direct port of the tabletop version. It shares some familiarity with, say, something like Hearthstone, I guess, or potentially Star Wars Destiny, which I've been playing a lot of, where you actually take one action turns back and forth with Sauron AI. Uh, but a lot of things still apply here. Range carries over, uh, guarding is important, resource management is also very important. But here you have one shared resource pool and can use it across different areas. However, you do still have this balance of combat versus questing, and that definitely is familiar to the game and allows you to really think about what you're doing and what moves you're taking. There also is, if you see on the left hand side, a bar where you can actually spend your questing points to earn special abilities, and as I found with different decks, this is extremely powerful and something not to be ignored. But like the game, you do have a threat meter that you're trying to conquer and quests that you're trying to complete, and once you're complete you can travel on to the next one. Deck building is available right here at the start. You'll start with some basic cards that you can play around with, and you can also, if you get the starter pack, hop in with a few other additional cards that you can purchase. The deck building here has some options. I'd love to see some more sorting options, specifically to be able to sort by cost or even sphere within. You can select all of a sphere and filter out, but I'd really love just sorting, so you can kind of scroll through and look for what you're looking for more quickly. But the deck building is pretty robust. I've had some fun building a few different types of decks, and the four spheres do carry over, so there's a lot of fun to be had there. This game does feature in-app purchases. The campaigns are purchasable as well as these packs of cards. Each one comes with a new hero along with some cards that work with that hero and a Palantir view, which is sort of like a random draw, though you can't really purchase them. They're just kind of bonus ways to get cosmetic items as well as sometimes some cool cards. While this game on the surface may seem to share a lot with something like Hearthstone, it most definitely is not. I'm into some of the later campaign levels, and you can see here, my goal here is there's not a lot of enemies out. Really, I have to get Smeagol to flee, which I do here. But then my next stage, before I get too much threat, which I just lowered there with Gandalf, is actually to free Bilbo from the prison. So these objectives are competing with trying to keep my characters alive, and really separates this from a pure combat game. It can feel like that in some of the early levels, but honestly, it really changes as you get into some of the later campaign challenges. It's important to remember this game is still in early access. I find it really interesting and really fun, but there definitely is some polish to be had. That being said, I think the UI is pretty well done, and I think the gameplay is really there. It feels different, but it feels definitely more video gamey, more Hearthstoney, a lot more combat heavy in some areas. But that being said, as I got into decks that mixed a combat along with kind of questing focused characters, I still was able to succeed and felt that the game played out differently. I do need, obviously, to polish decks and things like that. Having two questing focused characters doesn't seem to work for at least most of these so far, but definitely is an area where you're going to want to try different things and build different decks for different situations. And that is my main concern here. And this is common with a lot of player games. I mean, Pathfinder had the same thing. It's that sometimes it's hard to feel like you're winning. I've recently been playing Star Wars Destiny from FFG, and one thing I like about that game is that I think even when you're losing, you feel like you're winning because you got Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber, and Rey's holding four lightsabers, and she's super cool and she's super powerful, even though she's about to die. Those sorts of feelings are kind of hard to come by here, but I have found that towards the end of a quest, when you have tipped things in your favor, there is that fun where you see that Sauron passes pop up in front of your screen, and suddenly you're like, yes, I still have all my resources and a bunch of actions I can take, and I don't have to worry about any more enemies, so I can clear the board. Those feelings are great. They just do take a lot of work to get to. In your early games, you may feel discouraged and feel like you aren't winning, even when you are. So far, I'm really enjoying it, and I look forward to playing more. Co-op should be on the way, and that should be fun to try. I also would love to have this on a more portable device than my current computer situation, but it's really interesting and definitely feels like the tabletop game. I'd like to actually go play that and revisit it, but it feels that way without being too direct to that. That game may have been a little fiddly, a little different than what we'd expect these days, and this game really kind of combines those. Definitely makes a more action-focused game while still maintaining some of the twist that made me fall in love with this game in the first place. So the game is still in early access, but I definitely think it's worth keeping an eye on and checking out. If you're in love with this game on the tabletop, really this is a no-brainer to check out right now.